"2020 has been a really weird year. But you know what? Before it all began, BOLT On and PTEN magazine actually put a survey out to take the temperature of the industry. And there's some pretty interesting things that came out of it, and we want to share that with you. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about this pandemic and what it means to you. So let's take a look at this and see what it says. The Automotive Shop Trend Survey was given both by PTEN and Bolt On Technology. And a couple of things before we look at some of the important facts that this shared with us. First off, most of the respondents were repair shop owners, over 70% of them. Next, they were owning general repair shops. About 3/4 of them represent that. And this is where it gets interesting. Within 5 years, 30% or 3 in 10 want to retire, and in 69 years, an additional 22%, and that comes to 52% in 10 years almost, or half the responders. And what also is interesting about this is these folks have the most industry experience. So things are going to change pretty drastically over the next few years. But even worse, the virus came along, and that has changed a lot of this too. According to Yelp, 41% of businesses that closed up to June 25th were not going to reopen. That's a crazy statistic. And it even got worse. It went up to 55% as they kept reporting. But the interesting thing here is, as of September, Yelp reported a little bit of good news for the automotive industry. Their closure data for automotive services shows that it remained robust with a far lower rate of closures, and towing companies were also doing well. So there's some positive news coming out of things, even though it all seems so negative. But what's this all about? Well, it means that you need to start thinking about whatever you're going to do. Are you going to retire in the next 5-10 years? Are you going to keep your business? Are you going to expand? Because maybe now's a good time to do it with the craziness going on. And are you just outright selling and just doing something else? But whatever your plan is, you have to be sure that you have a strategy in place. You have a CPA who's auto repair savvy, and that's important because the auto repair industry is a bit different than a lot of the other ones. And you have to get your staff in place. Let me ask you a question. Can your business run without you there? If you can answer yes to that, you got a really good shot at selling that business, because if you leave and it doesn't run, it's no good to whoever buys it. And what is the condition of your facility? Maybe it's time to start looking at that and doing the little things that make it look good. And of course, what is your average repair order? All these things are going to be considered in almost any decision you make. And if you're selling to someone, all of these will be considered. So where to start? Well, it's pretty simple. You need to start and make a plan. And you need to understand that this has to happen now. Because if you don't, and you try to do it at the last minute, it's not going to work. If you're feeling like you're going to retire or sell your business, it may be a couple years before you can actually do that. So you have to start planning. So I think the main takeaway from all this is that you need to put a plan in place. And the sooner you do that, no matter what your option is, if you're staying on, expanding, retiring, or selling, you've got to come up with a plan, and you got to start putting it in place today. Because some of the people I've talked to that have went through this, it took a few years. And for you to get most of your money, most of your equity out of your sweat that you've put into your business, you really want to spend the time and make sure you have all your ducks in a row. Good luck, whatever you choose to do.